My name's Blake Sherry. I work as a reforestation advisor for ArborGen. Previously, I worked at International Paper buying wood for a pulp mill and Interfor buying logs for a sawmill. I've been working in forestry for probably the past 9 years at this point. I grew up in Metro Atlanta, always grew up outdoors, knew I wanted to do something outdoors. So forestry was a bit of a way to make sure that I could stay outside and maybe not live in the Atlanta area. So far, it's done it for me. The most rewarding thing for me working for ArborGen in this position is just helping landowners meet the objectives they have, which the person that owns a tract here, they could have a completely different objective than their neighbor. Being a resource that they can go to and point them in the right direction is pretty satisfying. I think a lot of clients, when they contact us, one thing they need a little bit of help on is solidifying what their objectives are. There's a lot of smaller landowners that want to manage for multiple things, so helping them boil that down, as well as also helping them think a little bit longer term. You know, forestry by nature is a long-term prospect, long-term investment. Planting densities, species selection, all matters a lot. We're thinking on decades time frames when it comes to managing their timber as a financial investment. If I do move to a higher genetic category, if I do basically more intensive site prep in silviculture and try to treat this as an investment, will it pay off? Helping them talk through what makes the most sense for their objectives, you know, kind of reassuring them that the more that you invest into your land, just not on genetics, but on managing it well, you will reap the reward based off of everything we've seen and know. A lot of them need reassurance in that. The best thing that I can do, or I think any one of us reforestation advisors can do to help a landowner who is reforesting, afforesting, planting seedlings, is identifying their objective and helping them move towards that objective. For some people, they are treating it as an investment, and with that, they need to plant and act as if they are investing in their property. And other people, they want to have trees on their property that will return investment at some point, but they may be more wildlife focused. We sell trees that I kind of jokingly call Camrys, and then we sell some trees that are more like Corvettes. Everyone needs something different. Thankfully, we have the range that we can help them with that. ArborGen is the longest running company that's publicly accessible on advanced genetics. There's been decades of research that now, as you look around, has been pretty well vetted and shown to work, that advanced genetics are worth the investment. You know, I think there's an aspect of trusting ArborGen and then trusting me from my perspective, having a wood procurement background. I mean, I can speak directly to the value of a tree that is straighter, that has less rust, that has less forking, and also grows to your target size for your target market quicker. Where we're at in the industry right now, you know, we're kind of transitioning a little bit in my mind to a solid wood products market in the South, where in the past, you know, we've been primarily driven by pulp mills. Seeing what's happening in other parts of the country and in the continent, and how there's just continued investment in solid wood products manufacturing in the South. Volume gain is such a huge part of higher genetics, right? But the piece that's going to be played out and more important in the future is going to be the quality gain. We have a lot of categories of seedlings, but with having such a high number of categories comes transparency in what you're planting. So if you're looking for something that is the best OP family on the market, we can tell you why we have grown that seedling and put it in that category, because we have an index of traits that puts it into that category. Same goes for the MCPs too. You know, we have 4 categories of MCPs, and they're broken out for very specific reasons between quality and volume gain. So while it may seem overwhelming at first on, you know, what should I plant, the better we know a client's objectives and what they're working towards, we can get down to a finer level on what actually works for them.